In news from criminal courts in the USVI, we learned that one man faces multiple charges, including kidnapping stemming from an incident in October, while another answers to charges of trespassing and contempt of court. On October 12th, a woman walked into the Anselmo Marshall Command police station seeking help. She told officers that she had been in an abusive relationship with her ex-boyfriend, Mark Anthony Hussein, and that it had reached the point where she was concerned for her safety and that of her family. Police heard that Hussein had been abusing her physically, mentally, and verbally starting in early 2022. The first incident, she told officers, was a verbal altercation outside Hussein's home, which quickly turned physical when he punched her several times in the face. After the alleged assault, she says her then-boyfriend drove her to the hospital to seek treatment for her injured face, but threatened that he would kill her if she told anyone about how she sustained the injuries. She says she ended up telling the nurse that she had been jumped by some women. The nurse informed her that the incident would have to be reported to the police, and the frightened woman said she repeated her lie to the VIPD officers who interviewed her, saying that she had been assaulted by two women she did not know. In August, the woman said her boyfriend assaulted her again. She told police that she was at Hussein's residence and that the couple was alone as his parents were not at home. A verbal altercation ensued, with her partner accusing her of many things. She said that no matter what she told him, Hussein refused to believe she was speaking the truth. At one point, he reached inside the waistband of his pants, reportedly pulling out a black handgun, and struck her several times in her head and at least once on the mouth. Despite bleeding from the head, she says she did not try to run away from him because she was afraid he would harm her family. The woman told police that for some time, Hussein had kept her locked inside his bedroom daily, and if he was not around, she was prohibited from using the bathroom or her phone. The lack of bathroom access took a toll on her health, and she says she suffered a urinary tract infection at least 3 times because she could not relieve herself when she needed to do so. Things came to a head on October 8th, the woman said, when both she and Hussein woke up and he began to interrogate her. Unsatisfied with her responses, Hussein allegedly decided to torture her into telling the truth. She told police that he went into the kitchen and heated up some cooking oil, placing a spoon in the pot of hot oil for several minutes. Then, she says, he used the spoon to inflict severe burns on different parts of her body. However, the woman said it wasn't until October 12th that she was able to use a neighbor's phone to call her mother to come get her. The older woman reportedly broke down in tears when she saw her daughter's condition and urged her to report the incident, which she did. Officers noted the woman's injuries, which included burns on both cheeks and both sides of her arms and legs, showing imprints of the design engraved on the metal spoon. She was bearing a scarred lump on her forehead and swelling and discoloration of her top lip. A check with the Firearms Bureau revealed that there was no record of a firearm and/or ammunition license issued to Hussein. Police executed a search warrant on Hussein's residence on November 13th and found firearms, ammunition, magazines, gun cleaning kits, targets, and at least one holster. Hussein was subsequently arrested and charged with false imprisonment and kidnapping, assault in the second degree, assault in the third degree, all as crimes of domestic violence. He was also charged with mayhem, discharging a firearm, and unauthorized possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime of violence. In court on Monday, a judge ruled that Hussein be allowed to post $1,000 in cash and sign an unsecured bond for the remainder of his $75,000 bail requirement. Once posted, Hussein would be released to a third-party custodian, but will be barred from leaving St. Croix without the court's written permission and must surrender his passport if he has one. He will be placed on 24-hour house arrest with an electronic monitor, only being allowed to leave the residence for work, court appearances, and the hospital in cases of emergencies. Hussein must report to the probation office every Tuesday, must maintain a minimum distance of at least 1,000 feet from the complainant, and must have no contact, directly or indirectly, with his ex-girlfriend or any other witness in the matter. His next court appearance is scheduled for January 18, 2023. Another St. Croix resident must submit to a psychiatric and psychological evaluation after being accused of trespassing. Noel Mathias was arrested on November 15th when police responded to a 911 call for assistance. According to the probable cause fact sheet, when police arrived at the residence, they met with Mathias's mother, who told them that her son was at her home despite her having a permanent restraining order against him. She told officers that she gave Mathias the food he had asked for, but then he began to curse her and threaten to kill her. He then sat down on her front porch and refused to leave. The woman showed police a copy of the restraining order, which stated that Mathias was prohibited from having any contact with his mother, including entering her residence or place of employment. It stated further that he was to maintain a minimum distance of at least 1,000 feet from her at all times. The order was granted on February 24, 2022, and would remain in effect for 2 years from that date unless modified by the court. Police were able to make contact with Mathias, detain him, and transport him to the Wilbur Francis Command Police Station for questioning. However, Mathias was speaking incoherently, and police were unable to record a statement from him. He was then arrested and charged with contempt of court as an act of domestic violence and trespassing. In court on Wednesday, a judge ruled that Mathias must post the full $1,000 bail amount in cash to secure his release. Once he is able to do that, he will need to provide the court with an address and a telephone number where he will reside. He must maintain a minimum distance of at least 1,000 feet from his mother and have no contact with her whatsoever or with any witnesses in the matter. The psychological and psychiatric evaluation that was ordered must be completed and reported on before December 9th.